but manhood is. None before me, none to come, the only one, Jabbar. Lance Brown, a 6-foot giant reporting for duty. Yes, sir. Huh? Hello. Hello, you understand? See, we got to get going and get growing. Oh, yes. We got to get going, man. You know? Yeah, man, we got to get going, man. You know, man, we got to put our foot on the gas, man. We right back at it like a Craftmatic. You understand? With another episode of the Manhood Mentor Show. Yeah, me. The title of today's lesson is considered Stop Stopping. You know, stop stopping. Hello. Stop what you're doing and stop stopping what you're doing. Woo! Stop what you're doing and stop stopping what you're doing. Hello, especially if you got something that's working for you. You know? Yeah, if you, listen to me, man. If you got something that's working for you, you keep doing that. You dig? Don't keep stopping. Stop stopping what's working for you. Hello. And see, man, the title of today's lesson brings me to a story, right? It's a story that we all should know, or most of us probably have heard, right? It's a story about how the people was in bondage over there in Egypt, right? And as the people was coming out of bondage, right, they was being led out of bondage by the servant Moses, right? And what the story goes is the original journey out of bondage from Egypt across the desert over into the promised land, the original story, the original plan was to lead them out of bondage across Egypt over the desert. And that journey was only supposed to take 11 days. Okay, it was only supposed to take 11 days. Some people say 30, some people say, you know, between 11 and 30. I don't know for sure, but what is documented that I've read, it said 11 days. So it could be between 11 and 30. Either way, it wasn't the original 40 years that they end up wandering in the wilderness. It wasn't the original 40 years. You understand? See, that was the conclusion of the journey, but the introduction of the journey was not supposed to be for 40 years. It was only supposed to be for a short time had they kept going and had they not been stopping along the way. But see, the difference is this here, right? See, the difference is when they kept stopping, all they did was delay the conclusion to what they had been wanting for the whole time. You understand? See, they was being led out of bondage and being led out of captivity, but they had been in bondage and in captivity for so long that their vision had become jaded. You understand? That their perspective had become warped throughout the process of them being led out of bondage because the challenges and the conditions outside of the stability of bondage is what had them uncomfortable. You understand? So you might be thinking with Jabbar, why did they keep stopping? Like, why did they keep stopping? How did the journey go from 11 days, you understand, almost 2 weeks, or maybe a month, even still, it ain't 40 years. So how did the journey last so long from the initial expectation up into what we know concluded at 40 years? Like, Jabbar, why did they keep stopping? I'm going to tell you why they kept stopping. The same reason that most people stop anyway, the same reason that a lot of brothers, a lot of men stop what they doing when they doing the right thing. You understand? See, doing the right thing ain't always easy. Doing the right thing don't always look like the right thing while you doing it because there's work involved. Hello, and see, you might still be doing the right thing, but you're getting some pushback and you're getting some resistance. You understand? You facing some opposition, so you may begin to second guess if this is even the right thing or not because it's not easy and because it's not smooth sailing. But I'm here to tell you that you need to keep going. Stop stopping. Hello, stop stopping what you're doing when what you're doing is right. See, I'm going to tell you why the people kept stopping, man. You know, the same reason why most men stop, even though they doing the right thing. You see, one of the reasons why they were stopping is because they kept stopping to complain. Hello, they've been led out of bondage. They've been in bondage for umpteen years. They finally get somebody who know which way to go, who got the plan, the strategy, and the courage to take action on the way to go. Now they following this man across the desert, across the designated path, and during the travels, they keep stopping to complain. What you complaining for? You were just in bondage. What you complaining for? You was just experiencing unwanted or unwilling restriction and relegation. What you complaining for? You was just experiencing mistreatment and slavery, but you complaining now because you got to do a little bit of work. You understand? Hello, see, one of the reasons that took the journey so long is because they kept stopping to complain. You know, another reason why they kept stopping. But they should have stopped stopping and kept going. But another reason why they kept stopping is because they were stopping to compare. Hello, see, they was comparing the conditions of the wilderness with what they had just come from out of. You understand? See, they was comparing the conditions of the wilderness, the unpredictability of the environment with the predictability of the environment that they just came from. You understand me? See, they looked at the unpredictability of the wilderness, the weather, the conditions, the animals that may have been out there, and then even though they had the freedom to go in any direction that they wanted to, but they chose to use their freedom of choice and follow this man Moses, who knew which way to go, and he telling them which way to go, but they even start to consider and compare the conditions that they had before as if the conditions that they had before was even something worth comparing. You were just in bondage. You was just in restriction. You was just in unwanted and unwilling circumstances where you didn't have free choice. Now you got free choice. All you got to do is follow this man who knows which way to go. He leading you which way to go. All you got to do is follow him at least until you get to the promised land, at least until you get to the conclusion of what it is that you're following him for, and then you can go off and do your own thing. But they didn't do that. Hello, see, they didn't do that. See, they were stopping to complain first. Then they were stopping to compare. They was comparing the wilderness and the conditions and the unpredictability of the wilderness with the predictability, but it was restrictions involved back in slavery. You understand? And they was also stopping to compromise. See, they was considering compromising the freedom that they had and the progress that they had made. They was considering compromising that and going back to where they came from. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They were stopping to complain. They were stopping to compare. And they were stopping to consider compromising. Why? Why, Jabbar? Why, after being in bondage and slavery all of this time, and now you finally got what you've been praying for, you got somebody who knows which way to go to lead you out of the circumstances that you got yourself in, to lead you into a better position than you could put yourself in. You chose to follow this man, and now he's leading you in the direction of your salvation, of your liberation, enough freedom of choice, and now throughout the process of you traveling along the journey, the designated path, you stopping to complain, you stopping to compare, and you stopping to consider compromising, going back to the circumstances that just had you in bondage for 10 years. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And see, this is a lot of the challenges that some men face when it's time to change and when it's time to level up and when it's time to evolve further into the responsibility of manhood. Hello, see, they keep stopping. See, they decide and say, you know something, man, I'm ready to level up. I'm ready to get on my game. I'm ready to get my bread right. I'm ready to be good to my woman. I'm ready to be about my kids. I'm ready to, man, get my finances in order. I'm ready to establish a legacy and a foundation for myself. I'm ready to build my career out. I'm ready to start traveling. I'm ready to get my body right. I'm ready to change my whole image. I'm ready to make new friends. It's a lot of things that you say that you're ready to do, and then you start doing it. But then at the beginning that you starting to do it, what you do? Hello, what you do, man? We all been there. We all been there. But what you do when you begin to step outside your comfort zone just a little bit, and it's working for you, but it's uncomfortable, but it's working for you, but it's uneasy, but it's working for you, but you unsettled, but it's working for you. Huh? What you do? You stop. Woo! You stop for what reason, though? You see, you stop to complain, just like the people coming out of Egypt. Then you stop to compare, because you're looking around and you're looking at other people who may have started where you started at, came out of school with you, was at a particular job with you. You understand? Grew up in the same neighborhood with you. Now you see them and they doing their thing out here in the real world. You dig what I'm saying? They've been out of practice. See, they been new practice was over and they jumped straight in the game while you still was in practice trying to get ready for the game, but you comparing yourself to somebody who already been balling for years. Hello, and then you start compromising and considering compromising, going back to the old way that you said that you wanted to be done with. Why? Hello, why? I'll tell you why. Because it ain't easy. You know, see, it ain't easy being a man, but it's worth it. Hello. Hello, see, this manhood thing ain't easy, but it's worth it. And see, because it ain't easy, but because it's worth it, those of us who understand how to be effective in manhood, this is how you derive respect from being effective. Hello, this is how you derive respect from being effective out here in this game called manhood. Hello, this is how you do that, man. This is exactly how you do that, man. You understand? So the first thing that they was doing, right, when they was stopping to complain, let's touch on that. Let's touch on that. You understand? See, the definition of complaint is to state feelings or pain, dissatisfaction, or resentment. To state feelings, pain, or dissatisfaction or resentment. Okay? Now, while they traveling along this path out of bondage, heading in the direction that they said they wanted to go, while you traveling along your path out of bondage, heading in the direction that you say you want to go, of course you're going to experience a little bit of pain. Okay, growth in essence is a little bit of pain. Even if it ain't physical pain, it may be emotional pain. You understand? It might be psychological pain because you don't know if the new version of yourself is going to be accepted by the old people. Woo! See, you don't know if the new you is going to be accepted by the old people who knew you. You understand? So the mental anguish of that, the psychological pain of experiencing social unacceptance is too much to bear for some people. You understand? That's when the dissatisfaction begin to develop because you're experiencing that emotional, mental, and psychological pain of the old people not accepting the new you. You understand? But don't let that settle into resentment. I'm going to tell you why. Because old behavior in the new situations bring about the same results. You understand? Old behavior in a new situation bring about the same results. See, so the person that you said that you wanted to become and the person that you're working on a daily basis, the old person and the new person can't reside in the same residence. Hello, the old you and the new you can't reside in the same residence. It can only be one king inside of this castle right here. Hello, it can only be one king inside of this temple, inside of this castle right here, and that got to be you. So if you say that you're going to become the new you, the old you got to go about his business, man. The old you got to dissolve and be evicted so that the new you can reside and elevate and uplift and empower you and your family to the next level in manhood, right? Because everybody follow you. See, your family take your last name for a reason because they are supposed to be an extension of your territory, your influence, and your power. Hello. Hello, you understand? You understand? See, that was going on with the people when they was coming out of bondage, when they was coming out of Egypt. See, they stopped to complain. And this is what we do as men at times when it's time to grow, when it's time to be consistent in growing. Sometimes we stop and we complain too much. Ain't nothing wrong with expressing some dissatisfaction. You got to let it out rather than to keep it in. Like my uncle used to say, rather out than in. You dig what I'm saying? He used to say, it's better out than in, boy. I said, I got it. I got to give you 15 feet, you know, man, because that what you just let out. I don't want to handle that. I'm going to let you handle what you just let out because since you ain't keep it in. You dig what I'm saying? Since you let that out, let me go ahead and step out right along with that. I can't, you know, that was for you. You dig what I'm saying? That was for you. He said it's better out than in. And see, the new you and the old you can't reside in the same temple, right? So the old you got to go out so the new you can stay in. Woo! The old you got to go out so the new you can stay in. Ain't nothing wrong with complaining once, maybe twice. Express it, get that out. Express your dissatisfaction. Express your mental anguish and your pain, and you get that out. Don't let it settle into resentment. And now once you express that, you got to consider why you're moving. And you got to consider the end result of what you're doing and stop stopping. Hello, if you're moving in one direction, you're moving towards your change, you're moving towards your evolution. Stop stopping, moving towards your elevation. Don't stop. Don't stop moving towards your evolution or your elevation, man. You understand? Carrying on to the next piece. See, when they were traveling out of bondage, it was only supposed to take 11 days, but it ended up taking 40 years. See, we know the conclusion. It was only supposed to take 11 days, but it ended up taking 40. It was a 40 piece. 40 years is a long time, man. You know, especially when everybody wasn't the same age. We already talked about the 4 seasons of manhood. So can you imagine somebody being in a fall season, leaving out of that circumstance, and then it taking them 40 years? An 11-day journey that was only supposed to be 11 days end up taking a person who in his fall season 40 years. And you talking about this person about to be 100 by the time they get to the promised land? Boy, that's cold. Boy, that's cold. Boy, that's cold. But see, we been there. You understand? See, most men been there. See, when it's time to change, it ain't always easy to do that thing. But in order to change, you got to change. Hello, in order to change, you got to change. You understand? It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but just know that the person you said you want to be is on the other side of that change. Hello, the person you said that you wanted to be is on the other side of that change, and you got to go through with the process, man. And you got to stop stopping the process of your change. Hello, you got to stop stopping the process, or else you cause yourself the regress, you understand? You see, the other aspect of them stopping while they going across the travels to the promised land, see, that's us. You understand? See, one of the other things that the men do when we stop, and see, we stopping to compare. We stopping to compare ourselves with who may have started the journey before us. Hello, we stopping to look around from side to side and see who already a little bit up ahead traveling the same road, because we ain't the only ones who want to change when we decide we want to change. And see, the old people that we knew when we decide we want to change might not accept us the same. And see, that's a part of that complaining. See, that's a part of that expressing your feelings and your dissatisfaction. You understand? You see, when the old environments that you used to settle in, that you was comfortable in, you don't fit no more. So now you got to go and create a new environment, and you got to get refit for the position that you moving to. Woo! You got to go and get refit. It's just like a suit jacket, baby. You hear me, man? It's just like a suit jacket. When you get it tailored, you understand? And then you bulk up and then you get some muscles, man. The old jacket don't fit you. It's still a nice jacket. It don't fit you. You understand? Or when you done put on a few pounds around the midsection, and then you get your suit jacket, and then you get it cut, and it's fitting you right, but then you get in that gym, you cut that thing up like a bag of that, to take a 30, and now your clothes don't fit you the same, and now you got to go and get a new fit. It's still a nice jacket. You understand? So it don't mean that the environment that you leave in is always, quote unquote, bad, harmful, or toxic. It don't always mean that. And in most cases it is, but it don't mean that all the time. It just means that you done outgrew that. Hello, see, you done outgrew that, and now it's time to walk across that desert. It's time to take that journey up to the promised land, into the direction that you said that you wanted to take your life, into the position that you understand that you have to get to in order to truly be satisfied within the realms of manhood. Now you stopping to compare yourself. And you compare yourself with people who took that journey and took that path before you. And it makes it more and more difficult and more of a challenge to even be satisfied with the journey, because you compare yourself with somebody who already got a head start up the road. Hello. You compare yourself with somebody who already got a head start up the road. See, you stopping to examine in order to know similarities or differences. You understand? See, by definition, when you stopping to compare yourself to other people who already done started before you and who already may be developed in other areas ahead of you that's moving in the same direction, you stopping to compare to examine in order to know similarities or differences. Don't worry about who you're similar to, and don't worry about what the differences are. Always remember that the only person you're competing with is the person that you're eating with every day. Hello, the only person you're competing with is the person that you're eating with every day. You understand? See, you eating with you every day. That's the only person that you ever competing with. See, it's the reason why they take those world-class racehorses and they put the blinders on them like this here. You understand? World-class racehorse, when they put the blinders on him like this here, it's so that he can't go like this. You understand? See, they don't want him doing like this because, for one, he's not going to run straight. For two, he's going to be looking at everybody else, which in turn takes the focus off his technique, and it takes the focus off the end goal that keeps him motivated. Woo! Oh, yes. Oh, yes. See, you got to think about the end goal in advance. That's how you keep yourself motivated. You and me. You got to consider the end goal in advance. That's how you keep yourself motivated. It's going to be some work. I ain't going to tell you that it ain't going to be no work. You understand? But see, what we do is we make work for us. Hello, we make work for us. So see, we don't mind doing the work because we know in the end, the work that we're doing is going to end up working for us in the end. Carrying on. You understand me? Carrying on to our final point. And see, they kept stopping to compromise or consider compromise. What does this mean, Jabbar? How is it that these people coming out of bondage in Egypt, moving on to the promised land, an 11-day journey ended up taking 40 years? You understand? They ain't even say it was an 11-year journey that took 40 years, an 11-day journey. Look it up. I could be wrong. This is the information that they got designated on the portal on Google. So you can look it up. You can go get the word. You can find the scriptures in the word. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I've seen different time frames. One site said 11 days. Another site said between 11 and 15 days. I guess, based on if they were stopping to rest a certain amount of hours per day, if they were stopping to eat, if they had to go hunt for food in between. Either way, the journey was not supposed to take 40 years, but it ended up taking 40 years. And one of the reasons why the people along the journey of their salvation kept stopping is because they were stopping to consider compromising. And by definition, compromising means to reduce in quality, value, or degree to settle. They was considering settling for what they had just left and prayed to get up out of. You understand me? They was considering settling for less quality in lifestyle and going back in bondage. They was considering settling for less value in the quality of their living conditions and going back to bondage, then moving forward into the promised land, into freedom of choice. You understand? They was considering settling or reducing their perspective on the options that they would have moving forward rather than to go to the promised land. They was thinking about going back into the circumstances that they prayed to get out of the entire time. And so many times, we as men, we consider settling. We consider settling for what's convenient and for what's comfortable, even though we know we want to be up out of that, even if it's a relationship. Hello, we done been there. We done been there being involved with a woman that we don't need to be involved with that long. You understand? But we stay. You understand? And even when you leave or you call it quits, somehow or another, you end right back up and y'all engaging with each other and interacting with each other, spending time and doing your thing. Whole time you know that ain't the best circumstance for you, just like the people who coming out of bondage. Just like the people over there in Egypt who was coming out of bondage. They know that being in bondage wasn't the best place for them, but it was comfortable. Hello, they know that the bondage wasn't the best place for them. They know that slavery wasn't the best place for them, but it was predictable and it was comfortable. So they considered compromising and settling for less and going back to that circumstance that they wanted to be about of and that they prayed for liberation from. But let me tell you something, always remember this here, man. If you don't remember nothing else, man, you understand me. When you settle for less, you end up getting less than what you settle for. Hello, when you settle for less, you end up getting less than what you settle for. Had they went back to that circumstance, listen to me, they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. How many of us could be so much further along in our life had we stopping when we first started to do what we know we needed to do? You understand me? How many of us would be so much further in our life and in our progression and so much more successful in the effectiveness of manhood if we stopping what we already started doing years ago? You understand me? See, we got to be real about this thing, man. And you got to look you in the face and be real with yourself. See, you ain't got to explain nothing to me. Yeah, you ain't never got to explain nothing to me, man. You know? See, this is for you. You understand? And see, what I'm doing and my perspective on it is for me as well, because our circumstances are different. You understand? But the premise and the concept is still the same. See, when you start heading in the direction of your liberation and of your salvation, stop stopping. Hello, when you start heading in the direction of your change and of your betterment as a man, stop stopping. Hello, when you start creating new habits that's working for you. Hello, when you start putting your money into different vehicles and in different circumstances that has the money circulating in a better capacity for you, stop stopping. Stop taking the money, getting your profit, getting the dividends from the investments and going to go spend it. No, you continue to recirculate it the same way you did in advance that got you the surplus in the first place. Hello, stop stopping. See, stop stopping what's working for you. You understand? And see, that's the premise of this whole lesson. It's the same way with the people coming out of bondage. See, they prayed and prayed and prayed for them to get out of bondage. See, they hoped, wished, and prayed until a plan came in the form of a servant. You understand? Now, see, the plan ain't gonna always come in the form of a servant. The plan might just come to you as a plan. You might read something. Hello. Somebody might send you something through email. Hello. Something might come in the mail, in the traditional postal mail for you. Hello, somebody might make a recommendation on the phone about a place that you should visit or a conference or a workshop that you should go to or a book that you should read. And then when you get there, the content jump off the pages, it planted seeds inside of your subconscious. And then the ideas of your liberation start to sprout up like an oak tree and grow. Hello, and then your creativity allow you to climb on that tree up out of your mental anguish, up out of your psychological rut. And now your creativity is working for you instead of working against you. Hello, you understand? See, it ain't always got to come from a person. You understand? It ain't always got to come from a person. But wherever your liberation come from and wherever the ideas to your salvation come from, you got to consider that with all options being available to you. You understand? See, don't shut yourself off. And when you start to make adjustments in the direction of your liberation and in the direction of your salvation and in the direction of your freedom, stop stopping. Stop stopping. Keep going. Hello, keep going. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to stop for. You ain't got nothing to go back for. You understand? See, the person that you want to go back to already done failed you. Because if they didn't, you wouldn't need to change it to somebody else. Woo! Woo! The person that you keep stopping and wanting to go back to, the old self, has already failed you. Because if not, you wouldn't be trying to change it to somebody different to get where you say you wanted to go at. You understand? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, man. You understand me? Yeah, manhood is a culture. Manhood is a culture, you know? And it's our duty to share what's working, man. You know, and all I'm doing is doing my duty. Hello, I'm just doing my duty, man. You understand? Got to share what's working. You understand me? Got to share what's working, man. You know, stop stopping. When you designate your plan, you designate your sense of direction, that's the way that you go. Don't let nobody condition you to want to go back to your old self and want to go back to the person that you was that had your life in a position that was unsatisfactory to you. That's what started the complaining in the first place. Hello, see, the version of yourself that you was unsatisfied with, it had you complaining. It had you expressing a state of feelings of pain or dissatisfaction or resentment over what? The decision making that had your life in the condition that it was in when you decided that you wanted to change. Hello, you understand? Then when you started moving forward, then you started comparing. Yeah, see, that's why I don't play the lottery, man. You understand? See, I don't play the lottery because I hit the lottery every day. Oh, yes. I don't play the lottery because I hit the lottery every day. When I open my two eyes, it's up. You understand? When I touch down and go up. Hello, when I touch down and go up. I don't play the lottery because I hit the number every day. When I get up, jackpot. Jackpot. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's time to cash in and cash out. You understand? Yeah, see, when you start moving in the direction of your salvation, now you compare yourself. You compare yourself to people who made the decision that you made today. They made it years ahead of you. You can't compare yourself with them. Come on with it. Come on with it. You can't compare yourself with them. They already made that decision years ago. And the reason that you see them in the position that they're in today is because they already stopped stopping. You understand? See, they already made a decision and then they stopped stopping along the way to complain. They stopped stopping along the way to compare themselves to other people, and they stopped stopping along the way to consider compromising and going back to the old environment and to the old circumstances that had them dissatisfied in the first place. And see, us as men, we got to do the same thing for ourselves. Yeah, ain't no compromise. Hello, ain't no compromise. See, we ain't reducing the quality, value, or degree of our lifestyle, of our standard. See, we ain't reducing none of that. See, we ain't settling for less. Yeah, we ain't settling for less because we don't have to. See, this world is in abundance. And I'm going to share something with you. See, all three of those letters, all three of those conditions that had the people being led out of bondage to continue to stop stopping, to continue to keep stopping. You understand? The reason that they kept doing that is because they was operating in lack and scarcity. That's why. See, the only reason that they was considering compromising and going back to a lesser environment and lowering their standard is because even though the promised land was promised, because that's what the words say, the promised land, it was a promise. So all you had to do was get there, and the promise of the land being fruitful and abundant was already baked into the title of the destination. Hello, it was already the promised land. But because their mindset was already operating at such a low frequency and such a low vibration, they didn't believe enough to allow the faith to drive them to the conclusion of what the plan was to reach the promised land. See, the scarcity and the fear of lack and the fear of not having what they already had, which wasn't much. It was just predictable. Which wasn't much. They just didn't have to do no work for it. Hello. You see, they was just slaves. So whatever they was told to do, they had to do. But in order to get more and in order to get extra, their mind had already been reduced so small and so low. The frequency had already been reduced so low that the creativity wasn't even circulating in a way to consider it being abundance or being more available to them than what they was getting. See, so when they left out of the bondage and they had to travel into the promised land that had abundance, their mind still couldn't even consider being able to receive that. See, that's where all of the self-doubt and all of the indifference had developed from. You understand? Stop stopping. When you make up your mind going in one direction, you keep going in that direction. You always consider the conclusion of your plan coming to fruition, and you keep yourself motivated in that way. Don't go back to the old you. You understand? Because the old you and the new you can't reside in the same resonance. Always remember this, man. Stay in your own lane and run your own race. You understand? Because see, you only got to beat your old self, and if you're only competing against your old self, you're always going to end up in first place. You dig that? Yeah, see, I'm the one who tell you get your mind right, then I tell you get your grind right. Then I tell you get your shine right, then I tell you that you're going to end up in the limelight, family. Until the next time, peace and love. Huh? Hello.